Hey guys, another Gunwall update. So this is getting closer and closer to what I really hope that it's going to be. So the first thing that I did was I listened to all of your comments, and kind of the most comments it seemed that I got was saying that I need to cut some sort of like divot into this shelf for the buttstocks to fit. The reason why that won't work is because for one, the board's really thin. You can't really dig into that. And secondly, like buttstocks, the shape and size sort of differ, and where they need to fit into that board, differs just depending on what they were. So I didn't really want to do that. Instead, what I settled on is getting this. It's kind of like a little layer of padding. It's just a layer of faux leather, and that gives a little bit of padding to the wood. It keeps the wood from getting scratched up, because this board was kind of, the paint was getting kind of marred on it from these steel buttstocks. So the faux leather, it not only kind of acts as like a little cushion, it keeps the wood from getting scratched up. It also is, it's a little less slick than the wood. Like you wouldn't necessarily think that like painted wood would be that slick, but this leather is a little bit more grippy, and it tends to hold the rifles into place. I'm gonna do some close-ups now, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm talking about and why I did a few things on the shelf that I didn't really explain that well in the first video. Okay, so to start off, a lot of people were sort of saying, kind of questioning my whole reasoning for putting this, because it really does seem to make sense that if you made this nice and deep, that the rifles would just sort of fall into it, and they get held in there really well. And I get that, because my other gun rack that you've never seen on camera before, that's the way it is. But I wanted to do something different with this, because I want the receivers to face outward. I want to be able to see these receivers. You can tell, most of them kind of have highlighted receivers. So, I like to be able to look at that. And if it's really nice and, if it's nice and deep in there, the rifles tend to be, spun around and just kind of, leaning in there. Well, I didn't really want that. And the reason why I picked exactly, this width from the wall is because if you look and just see kind of like where a rifle, or especially a K98K, where this is completely flat against this shelf. So with it flat, almost up against the wall, this is just kind of how far, the barrel just kind of tends to be from the wall. And it's kind of true with most Mausers, so it kind of works out with all of these. So if this was any further in, like if this board was shorter and this is further in, or this board was longer and further out, that would sort of mess up where this buttstock of the rifle would be. That would get shifted left and right. So I think this is a good in-between, because it fits a wide variety of Mausers in here. So the crazy thing is, all of these Mausers are sitting absolutely flat on the butt plates right now. And you wouldn't really think about it. It just kind of looks, it looks like maybe I didn't do them absolutely straight, but that's just where the rifles tend to sit. Like this is my 3340, and it's flat. It's perfectly flat up against it, and that's just because these butt plates all have different lengths, and this one's a very obvious one, because this is an early Mauser Oberndorf Swedish M96. And these guns have a completely different butt plate angle than the later Swedes do. So this is just one of those things you don't necessarily realize until you're trying to build something like this. So if you're going to be building something like this, and it's going to be for a specific type of rifle, you'll want to kind of check the butt plate angle and see what bets fits your guns. I've noticed other guns like British guns and Mannlichers and stuff like that, they all have vastly different stock angles. Especially these K31s, they definitely didn't want to. They tilted way far forward when having them receiver out like this. So if you were going to do a K31, it would kind of have to be different angles than this. But that's just something that you don't necessarily think about until you actually get to start making one of these. So that's just a little FYI. So you can see the quarter round that I use there, kind of it just goes all the way around all three sides. So, I mean, I guess theoretically that'll keep, any buttstocks from sliding off the shelf, or just kind of anything that you set on the shelf from rolling off. Maybe if you wanted to keep, ammo boxes or spare ammo or something, it keeps it from, rolling off the shelf. And then this faux leather, it looks a lot more orange, especially on this like LED light. Than it does in real life. It's kind of a little bit more brown. I think if I did it again, I would do a darker leather, but this bright leather kind of stands out, and it's kind of bright. Doesn't look too bad. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or replace it or whatnot, but that's what I've done so far, and I really like it. In case you're wondering, this is a 22 conversion kit for K98Ks. That's kind of why it's behind the K98Ks, because you just slip that in the gun and it converts it to that. This is the Mauser sign that my wife makes. She makes them out of wood, and this is actually, you know, hand painted. She's really talented. This is incredible. I could never do anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's really you guys constantly watching and commenting and liking my videos and all that stuff that really kind of gives me the motivation to keep making videos like this. So I appreciate it a lot, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.